Imagine a world with no coins, no bills, and no bank accounts at all. It sounds impossible, but for most of human history, that was simply reality. And yet, people still traded, borrowed, and built entire economies. So what came before money? The answer might surprise you. Trust. For a long time, the standard story went like this. Before money, people bartered goods directly, and coins were invented to fix the problem. But when anthropologists actually looked for large-scale barter societies in history, they struggled to find them. What they found instead was something else entirely: systems of credit and memory. Long before coins existed, communities were already keeping track of who owed what to whom. One of the earliest examples comes from ancient Mesopotamia. Temples and palaces kept detailed clay tablets recording debts, grain owed, and future obligations. These records functioned as a kind of accounting system, long before coins were ever minted. In other words, the ledger came first, and the coin came later. A more visual example comes from the island of Yap in the Western Pacific. The Yapese used enormous stone discs called rai as a form of currency. Some of these stones were several meters wide and far too heavy to move. So when ownership changed hands, the stone itself often stayed exactly where it was. The entire community simply agreed and remembered who owned which stone. In one recorded case, a stone was lost at sea during transport, yet it was still traded as valid currency. What mattered was not the object, but the shared memory attached to it. A similar idea appears much later, in medieval England. Debts were recorded using wooden tally sticks, marked with notches representing an amount owed. The stick was then split lengthwise into two matching halves. One half went to the creditor, and the other stayed with the debtor. These wooden halves could even be resold and passed on to someone else, functioning much like paper money. In each of these cases, the object itself was almost beside the point. What actually made the system work was a shared agreement about who was owed what. In many ways, that is not so different from how money works today. Most modern currency exists only as numbers in a database, not as physical objects at all. Perhaps money was never really about the object in the first place. It may have always been about trust between people. If this video was interesting, let me know by liking it and subscribing to the channel. Next time, we'll continue exploring ideas that quietly shaped human history.